So it's my coaching session review and my development plan for 16.3. So aim and objectives is to learn improved techniques of relay races, to be able to perform relay using all the correct techniques which have been taught to them during the session. Session objectives is for the student to understand what the correct technique is for a baton change, what the correct technique to do a sprint task, and to make sure all participants get involved and demonstrate and answer questions which they have been asked. Risk assessment, there it is, quite small. Warm up. Main activity. Okay, the review of aim and objectives. So the session aim is, I think, very achievable. It's clear what was needed to be achieved, and I feel like it was easy going to be achieved. So I didn't try to shove too much into one session. Also, there was enough that it wasn't boring. Session objectives is if they were asked a question, they could all clearly demonstrate or answer what they had to do. So what made me think they understood what the technique was they had to do. Session SWOT analysis is so my strengths where I thought planning is preparation of the session. So I knew exactly what equipment I need to have, where I was going to have it because I saw the ground before, what order I was going to do my activities in. For example, I knew which warm up I should have done first to get the heart rate going, and which main activity would have been easier, so there'd progression throughout the whole thing. I said also working with the other coach to conduct a fun, interesting session. So me and my coach understood what things were needed to be for a good session, and also understanding that they were younger than what we would normally plan a session for, so making it just suitable for them. Delivery, my strengths were planned what equipment needed to set up with prior to the students arriving. So everything was all ready. So as soon as we saw the students, got them into their groups and got away with the session. And communication in the group. There was good communication with all of us. Everyone knew each other's names. We talking, there's questions, they're asking me questions, I was asking them questions. They also sometimes they knew a game and they were like, oh, can we add this? So we adapted it so they would enjoy it more maybe. However, weaknesses, I said having a completed plan structure of what each task they were going to do, maybe having more tasks there, so it's a bit more varied. Just already, I might have not used them, but just having them already planned, so just in case there's less standing around. And also delivery is having a few more varied ideas, so because we had more time than we thought, so sometimes we would maybe towards the end when we were doing more of the relays, I could have maybe changed it up a bit, so instead of just doing races all the time, we'd do some maybe different activities. It might not be a proper relay, but sort of again help with the technique. Also, weakness is correcting their technique when they're doing it wrong instead of just letting them do it anyway. A few times in the race, I could see that they weren't really doing the baton change how they meant to do it, or they weren't setting off a few seconds before the person giving their baton was them. So I could maybe stop, going let's stop. Okay, what are you doing wrong here? And getting other people to see them, so the others will learn as well. What could have been a good thing. Opportunities is I had with maybe shadowing over another coach before conducting my own session to see how they teach the students what correct, like the techniques they use, the type of layout they use, and just see if it works or doesn't work. And if it doesn't work, maybe so I know not to use it. But if it does work, I could do that and maybe actually adapt it even more to my own session and make it even better than theirs. Other opportunities I could have from doing it is going to Stonebridge College to do a sports and coaching session, and this costs £379. It is 14 days long. I know there's 14 lessons, and by the end of it would just mean that I can coach sports groups, give me more opportunities to maybe teach higher levels or kids at schools. Other one is a UKCC Level 2 certificate. Again, will give me the opportunity to be able to teach more sport lessons. However, threat to this is making sure that there was a coach which would allow me to shadow them and critique their lessons, because some coaches might be a bit funny about me watching them and like judging them, and they might even get a bit jealous maybe if I stole like one of their ideas they came up with. So that could be hard, and it might not be able to happen if I can't find a coach that will allow me to do it. Also, other threats would be money, coaching. Like £379, definitely for like a younger person like me, it's quite a lot of money, and take a lot of hours to work up for that much money. So it might not actually be possible for me to do it. And also it's time consuming. Like 14 lessons is quite a long thing, and the location of it might be really hard for me to get to this place. So it could take longer out of my day on maybe a week. So I'll miss out on other things. So I can't do it. So that's my SWOT analysis. My coaching, I think it was good communication with the group throughout the whole thing. I think that everyone got like involved. That I did really clear examples. I demonstrated it, so everyone knew what to do, and there wasn't a point in the session where like a few people were confused, going like, "Actually, sorry, I didn't understand that." Also, preparation of the session, I say I was really like prepared of what I was going to teach them, so they knew. So it wasn't like much like faffing around. So I wasn't having to like leave the group by themselves and to go like put some more cones out. It was all set up, ready, and all the group were joined in. There was a boy who arrived a bit late. He's obviously had like some like upsetting news or been told off, so he wasn't like, he was quite shy. But I just kind of sort of stuck him, like got him involved. I didn't try like didn't think about his problems, what worked in the situation, and he ended up having a really fun time and being actually one of like the loudest people in it. So luckily, like he enjoyed the session as well. Areas of development and improvement is control of the group sometimes, to stop them messing around, because some of the guys were quite loud, quite confident, and they're also very competitive. So when we did get into the games, they sometimes got a bit too overexcited, and maybe they didn't want to be in groups. They didn't want to be in because maybe like one of them wasn't as quick. So areas of development in this is I could maybe I'd have a whistle with me next time, because everyone understands what the whistle means. If I do one sharp blow on it, they'll be quiet and they go, actually, what is the coach asking me to do now? I do 3 teaching points at a time. This is just basically when I do instructions, instead of like talking about my instructions for ages and making it a bit long-winded, I just make 3 teaching points that's really clear, so the people know exactly what they're doing, and we go straight into the next activity for them, so they don't basically hang around as long and won't have time to mess around. And also designated areas. There was like 4 guys who probably quite a close relationship, and they were messing around a bit. So maybe made 4 groups that all had a designated area, so they wouldn't distract the rest of the class. Other areas is constructive and technique feedback. I'd maybe go to coaching session again and do 3 valuing points of their session. So I can see like how this one of the coaches is giving constructive feedback back, what things he's ignoring, what things he's like properly picking up on. And I can also work out which ways I'm going to do it. Am I going to do it visually? So am I going to like show them? Am I going to do it verbally, just explain what they're going to do, or am I going to do it mechanically? So if they're doing like a serve in tennis, like grab the racket and show them exactly how to do it, and just basically evaluate which one works better in their session. So if I can see for that coach mechanically works good for them, maybe I decide that I'll do mechanical feedback as well, so my students would get their best possible session. And lastly is movement around the group and space, making sure they didn't just stand around as much and get them move around more. A few times that we would just call the group in and we'd maybe do instructions that when they're standing around they're a bit long, because I'd have to like get them into their groups, because I thought it would be fair that I'd change groups up, because obviously some groups are a lot faster, make sure the girls were like interacting with the guys. So the way I'll do this is watching a professional session for me, see more ideas so I can fill the space, which means they won't stand around so long. And again, if they don't stand around as long, they won't have as much time to mess around. And maybe like just use the space more round. So like changing. So the relays I did in a straight line, but I could have maybe done it into like a circle at one point, just so it like mixes it up, uses as much room, maybe brought in a few like a ball or something as well, just to use as much equipment as possible.